Hello, hello, hello. Dr. Alan Harper here, your secure vibe coder. And we're in for another banging secure vibe coding session. Let me make sure my microphone is on here. All right. So, we've been working on this app called UserVibesOS.ai. And the purpose of this app is to be an AI enhanced one stop shop for developers to collect vibes from their users throughout the user journey lifecycle. All right. And the way that works is whether the users are hitting our landing page or a survey that we might put out in front of them or a wait list or email list, or maybe they're sending the negative kind of vibes to you. Maybe they're trying to hack you and they're one of your users trying to test your limits or something. Then you want to pick up those as security alerts. Okay, maybe they have, on the other hand, maybe they have good ideas for you or feature requests. Those are the most precious things because we know that the best ideas come from our users. All right. And maybe they, on the other hand, have a bug report. And again, we want to capture that. We want to make it really super easy, or these other aspects either. And that's what I mean when I say the full life cycle. Now, we've been developing this app for about 68 days now. But in those 68 days, I've taken like probably about 2 weeks off for Christmas and other events over those 68 days. So we have about, we've been doing about an hour, hour and a half a night. So let's be generous and say we have about 80 hours in this project. Okay. And in those 80 hours, that's 2 weeks worth of work. Had we done it, 8 hours a day, we've accomplished about 6 months worth of work now. And the reason why I say that is because we've completed this long to-do list here. All of these features are working. Okay. So if you're watching this in the future, you can pause and look at these. All of these, many of these took like several sessions each. Okay. And that list is long. Okay. And that's a healthy feature list. And because of that, we have this fully functioning app up here on the cloud called UserVibesOS.ai. You could go there and sign up today. Okay. And again, the purpose of this app is to be that one-stop shop. So we have all of this functionality already built out. You have some nice screenshots of what it looks like on the inside. Really cool. And then we have some pricing. We have a free plan and a pro plan. And on the free plan, you just get one feature board. Okay. On the pro plan, then it's unlimited. Okay. And also in the free plan, you can only collect 10 feature requests and 10 bug reports. But again, on the pro plan, it's unlimited. Hey, Demetrix says he loves my vibes. Add me to the Discord so we can play together. Everybody asks me that. I honestly don't have a Discord for this. I do have it. I am on Discord, but if you want to catch up with me, join my free mentoring group up here. QR code above my head, and also link in the description. There you'll find out about me. I've been in cybersecurity for 36, probably 37 years now. I need to quit saying 36. Probably about 37 years, longer than most of you have been born. Well before they called it cybersecurity. Okay, and so I've done everything in cybersecurity, everything there is to do. I've even written 7 best-selling books on the topic. Okay, so you can Google me up. You find out more about me and the books I've written on that link in the description. All right, I've also been a professor and a leader on one of the largest universities in the world. Okay, and then now I'm back in the business world, but more specifically, I'm helping you guys, the next generation, build these apps and build them securely. I see this as a huge opportunity right now to be vibe coding, right? And then not only to be vibe coding, because now coding is accessible to everyone, that's also a problem because most people don't even know how to spell cybersecurity. So that's a problem if you build an app with AI and it gets hacked, right? And you never even knew why or how that happened. So we spent a lot of time on this channel. I am the secure vibe coder. All right. So you'll learn about vibe coding in many places on the internet these days, but you won't learn about secure vibe coding like I teach. Right. Because none of those guys have that kind of experience. So that's my angle. And again, building a tribe here. Join my free mentoring. I have about 7,800 people in there. Don't let that scare you, though. Most of them are quiet and just sitting still. I worry about them. Okay. But jump in there, be active, be a participant in the group. I'm providing value daily. You can also DM me in there. And inside of there, you will learn about my Secure Vibe Coding Masterclass. All right. And inside that masterclass, should you choose to sign up for that, then you get more access to me and I can come alongside you and actually help you build your apps. But besides that, there's a ton of free content in there. I'm in there daily providing value. A lot of people are. So hit me up inside of there. Appreciate it, Demetrix. Thanks for asking. All right, so here we are. We've got this fully functioning app. Now tonight, surprise, we are ready to take this thing and start marketing it. Okay? And that's where you guys come in too. I'm going to talk about that. But we built this app. We have our MVP up and running. That's this blue box. We've got the bug reports and the feature request up and running. And that's fully functioning and polished right now. We use AI to pull the bug reports and the feature request out of the users. Really slick. And then, so now what we need to do is start telling the world about it. All right. Now, there are a number of competitors out here in each of these different areas, but nobody's putting it all together. All right. But initially, we just have the feedback thing working and the security monitoring. All right. So that's better than what the competitors are doing. But we're going to start, once we start marketing, then we'll start also working our way around the circle, probably in this direction. Okay. We start stacking features and then we can charge more. All right. Now, what's in it for you? Let's talk about that. So tonight we're going to talk about the marketing aspects of this. All right. I'm going to give you guys a masterclass in marketing, and that's just my thank you for showing up tonight. All right. Let me get a couple things sorted here. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's talk about marketing. All right. Now, there's several things that we can do to market. The first one is word of mouth. Let me see here. This has got to be easier. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we've got word of mouth, right? What else do we have? Why am I fighting with this thing tonight? Okay, so we have word of mouth. We also have organic marketing. And then we also have paid marketing. Hold on a second. This is bothering me. It shouldn't be so difficult. Give me a daggone box. Okay. And make the text large and then say organic. Oh, sorry. Okay. Word of mouth. Let's try this again. Organic. Okay. Paid. And then we have affiliate. Okay. That's where you guys come in. All right. And let's talk about that first. So a couple weeks ago, I set up, well, actually maybe a couple weeks ago, in one of our sessions, we vibe coded and set up an affiliate marketing plan for you guys. So you can find that here on our website. If you go to the top or in the footer, you see an affiliates link. Okay. Really simple to become an affiliate. You just go here and sign up. It works like in 100 countries worldwide. So we have payouts through dub.co. So you go in there and sign up. They handle all of that. You give them your financial information, not me. And what they would do is hook you up, and then you can get access to a real-time tracking dashboard, and you can see all the traffic that you send by way of referrals or going out and posting your affiliate link all over the internet. And then you get a 30% commission, okay, for your efforts. And that's a lifetime commission for as long as that person stays a customer. That's very generous, guys. That's probably near the top end of what the industry does. But I want you guys to come along and be a part of this. So just go out there and sign up. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And then if you refer this to a friend or many friends, then you get 30% of whatever they pay over the lifetime of them being a client. Now, we built this thing to be sticky. And once we get some customers in here, particularly once we get some feedback and improve it further and even, remove any bugs that anyone finds, then this is going to be a really sticky platform and people will want to stay for the life of their business. Okay, so that's the advantage of wanting to be an affiliate marketer. Now, affiliate marketing allows you to get passive income. Okay, so that's you. Okay, so the idea is that with affiliate marketing, the way it works is, just lost my screen. Okay, there we go. The way it works is you sign up, you promote it, and then you get paid. Okay, so let me just put a note on that. Sign up, promote, get paid monthly. Okay. Now, this is a really popular way to make money online. Okay. It doesn't require a lot of effort. When you sign up, you get an affiliate link. Okay. It's very common. Like I said, a ton of money is made, probably, I don't know, a quarter to a third of the money that's made online is through affiliate marketing. Now, you can become an affiliate for Amazon or, any number of things out there. And there's entire courses on how to do that. One of them's called Wealthy Affiliate. You can check that out. It's free. And they teach you how to write blogs and stuff. I'm not a big proponent of blogs. We do it on our site, but it's in decline. But there's other ways that you can promote as well. And all the things we're going to talk about tonight, you can also do with your affiliate link, okay, should you care to. So a lot of people do this and they just stack this as an additional revenue stream. So I hope you take me up on that. Doesn't cost you anything, and you help get the word out and help us to be successful. All right. Paid means just what it sounds like. Okay. So let's see. Let's move this up. So when it comes to paid, we have ads and sponsorships. And also, it's called PPC, which is pay per click. Okay. So these are different ways that you can do paid traffic. And I've done all of them in the past. I'm not the biggest fan on them. It works better when you start with organic and then you throw fuel on the fire with paid. Once you understand your metric and your cost to acquire a client. And then, so the way it works is you have a lifetime value of a client. Okay, again, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of a masterclass tonight in marketing. Okay, so marketing. There are two major things that you wanna know. You wanna know the lifetime value, and then you want to know what's called the cost of acquisition of a client, the CAC. And you want to make sure that your lifetime value exceeds your CAC. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Lifetime value is like if you have a sticky product like we do. So let's just, we won't know until we get about a year's worth of data, maybe even 8 months worth of data. But we're charging right now $19 a month. So it'd be fair to say somebody would stay with us, maybe let's just call it 10 months, okay, as an estimate, before they quit on average, okay? So we'll have some clients that'll stay forever, and then we'll have many of them that leave after the first month. But let's just call it about 10 months is a good average. So our lifetime value of a customer then ends up being 10 times 19, which would be 190. Okay. And so then Once we know that and we're sure of it, like, I mean, like, we can prove it in our numbers, like, after watching it for a couple quarters, and we're like, "Yeah, this looks to be our churn rate. It's very low or it's very high." We can do the math. We can calculate our lifetime value. Once we know our lifetime value of our clients, like I said, it was for the example's sake, let's just call it 10 months is the average that somebody stays with us. And if we're charging $19 a month, it's 190, right? So really simple. Hey, 3Ds. Hey, glad you made it, man. I'm giving a master class on marketing. So it's a good one to not miss. All right. Hey, so we know our LTV, let's call it 190. Then that means we can spend up to $190 a month or a person to acquire a customer. Now, there's something called cost of acquisition of customers, CAC. Okay. Now, depending on how you do it, like maybe some people have a sales team, you have an affiliate team here. So, like, you guys fit, like, whoever I'm paying out in commissions, we have to factor that in. That comes out of my CAC, my cost to acquire customers. Any kind of paid ads or anything like that comes out of it, right? But here's the trick. As long as my lifetime value is greater than my CAC, then I can just pour gas on this thing and print money. It almost, when you get this right, it almost feels illegal that you make that much money. Now, so let me give you a practical example. Do you know that Starbucks, the coffee company, their lifetime value of a customer, they calculated it once. Like, if you, that on average, if someone walks through the doors at Starbucks for the first time and sips that coffee, on average, Starbucks will make something like $1,500 out of them over a year. Over the lifetime of that customer. On average. Okay, some would be much higher than that, some would just be less. But on average, they've got it down to about $1,500. So guess what they can spend for each customer to get them to come in that door? They can spend $1,500 and still be profitable. Now, there's other things that come out of it, like, overhead and stuff like that. But believe me, like, when it comes to marketing, these are the two variables. Okay. Now, Alex Hormozy, if you follow him, he likes to call it, instead of saying lifetime value, he calls it the gross profit. Okay, because he backs out like some of the things like an overhead and stuff like that, and considers it the gross profit. So if you want to be more accurate, you could go that route. But believe me, if you go out there and just search tonight LTV and CAC, you'll see tons of articles talking about it, right? Lifetime value and cost to acquire a customer. So why am I telling you all this? Because after a couple months, or let's just call it 6 months of knowing what our data is, and we can say with certainty that, like, yeah, like our lifetime value appears to be like about 10 months, and that's about $190. Well, then I could go out and start buying ads, and I can start buying pay per click. And as long as I'm spending less than that, and let's just put a margin on it, like maybe 20% less than that, then like I can dump like 10 grand on that. And we should see like the results come out the other side. Okay. And what you do is typically start with like maybe 1,000 1 month, and then you prove it, and then you do 5,000, then you do 50, then you go mortgage your house. Okay. That's what people do. And that's how they become super uber rich. All right. Now, but again, it takes a lot of data and a lot of customers to nail that in. Okay. And a lot of companies don't get that far, quit prior to that, or they just got 100 users in there. That's probably not enough. Okay. So that's why like paid ads is a long-term game. Like, don't do that like in your first 6 months to maybe even a year. Okay. Best advice is go build it organically. Okay. So what do I mean by organic? You know what word of mouth is, right? That's almost tied to organic. But what we're going to do here is we need to talk a little bit over here. I'm going to show you guys, this is my organic funnel. Okay, this is what I call the ideal funnel. So look, I'm dropping massive value here tonight, guys. Give me a like or thumbs up, subscribe, send this to a friend, wake somebody up, right? You typically have to pay big bucks for this. And I used to charge a lot for this, but this is an older course of mine. I don't charge for it anymore. Okay, so this is what I call the ideal funnel. Okay, this is the value of me spending more than 10 grand in courses from other people, and I distilled it down for you into one simple little chart here. This is called the ideal funnel. Why do I call it a funnel? It's over here. First, we're going to market, then we're going to do sales, we're going to convert them, and then we're going to get customers. So first they have to hear about you, then they have to, so what you're going to do is, through marketing, organic or paid or otherwise, you're going to drop in their inbox, you're going to drop in their social feed, there's going to be buzz about you, okay? And then once they know about you, they have to learn to like and trust you. And once they like and trust you, then you can obtain a sale from them. Nobody's going to buy from you if they don't like you and they don't trust you. All right. Trust you for what? Trust that you have the solution to their problem. Okay. And then you could turn that into customers. Now, this is the old way of marketing. The newer way to market is to do something called a flywheel. Okay. So the idea is that you are constantly attracting strangers to yourself. Okay. You're engaging with them, turning them into prospects, and then eventually customers. And then you delight that customer, and they send more referrals to you through testimonials, through promoting of affiliate, through word of mouth. Okay, so this becomes a flywheel. Okay, and that's really what you want. The problem with the funnel is somebody comes through the funnel and they fall out. You got to get another person into the funnel. It's a whole lot easier to sell to someone you've already sold to, okay, and to sell to their friends. Okay, so again, this is massive value, guys. This is a masterclass in marketing. All right, now back to here. Okay, so we're going to call this the ideal funnel, though. I should call it flywheel. All right, but my recommendation is that typically, if I'm coaching somebody, I recommend that they start with just one traffic source. Okay, now here's your choices. You've got like Instagram, Facebook, and all these things. And I call this the hateful troll zone. Okay, you got angry people who will fight you on these platforms. And they will let you know if you send them an ad or something, they will curse you up one side and down the other. It's happened to me. I'm just like, dude, I just sent you an ad. It wasn't even like a mean ad or anything. It was like a nice ad, nice looking woman or something trying to do something with the computer, and you come at me like with knives. That's what they do on these platforms. I call those the hateful trolls. Okay. Then you have what's called the angry trolls, and they hang out on places like Reddit and Quora. Okay. And we need to get into those places too, but just be advised that like you start hanging out in those places, you got trolls there, and many of them are angry, not necessarily hateful, but they're angry about different things. They're angry about life. Okay. And you're going to have to just press through that and provide value anyway, right? Then you have suspicious trolls. I call that Twitter content. Now, it used to be where the angry and hateful trolls hung out, but Elon bought it and they purged most of those guys out. And so nowadays, on Twitter, it's a pretty decent place. I've been there for a couple of years. Nobody's cussed me out, not once. And I say some pretty polarizing things out there. But like, I stay away from the politics. Maybe that's why I'm not getting cussed out. But like, anyway, there's some suspicious trolls there that you're gonna have to work through on Twitter. But I'm on Twitter. I have about 8,000 followers there. I love it. It's how it was where I got my start a couple years ago. I'd ignored Twitter for like 20 years. And but I came back to it about 2 years ago, and it's done quite well for me. In fact, that's what built my school community was because I have about 8,000 on Twitter. I have about 8,000 in my school community. Okay, most of those people who follow me have come into my network. Okay, then you have what's called quiet trolls. Okay, the reason why they're quiet trolls, they hang out on LinkedIn. Okay, so you can promote on LinkedIn, but you got trolls there, and data. Petty criminals behave that way. Professionals wouldn't use it. What are you talking about? Claim provenance. Yeah, this is my chart. Where have you seen it? All right. Don't tell me I got a troll in here. All right, I just got a comment that this is stolen material. It's not true. Um, all right, so all right, so you have quiet trolls. The reason why they're quiet trolls, they hang out on LinkedIn. See, on LinkedIn, people won't speak up because if they spoke up, the boss might see them, right? So even though they might want to flame you on LinkedIn, that rarely happens, right? Rarely, unless you're like self-employed out on LinkedIn, like you usually don't say crazy things. Um, yeah. All right. So the next thing that you can do is you could do newsletters. Okay, and I've done a lot of this. I've done LinkedIn newsletters, X articles, Medium content, and blog contents. Okay, this is called, and you can syndicate to all of them. Now that used to not be recommended, but nowadays it doesn't matter. So like it used to be, and maybe it's still so that Google will penalize you if you publish in multiple places, but who cares about Google? They're on the decline as well. All right, so now the other thing that you can do is you can post like I'm doing here on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and stuff like that, right? And in all of this stuff, what you want to do is you want to drive into calls to action, okay? And so everything that you post out here, you want to do calls to action. Now, my recommendation is that you don't do a hard sell out here because nobody likes to be sold to on social media, all right? But what you can do is invite them to your free mentoring group or your free newsletter, or something. You exchange something in return for an email address. Okay. Now, so once you get those traffic sources come in, they need to come to a landing page. Now, our landing page is our SaaS, right? The one that we've been building. But regardless, if you didn't have a landing page, then you'd want to have a landing page. There's many sites you can use to do that, like system.io. Or that's one of my favorite free ones out there right now. There are others. Okay, I don't use that. I use some paid ones. They're very expensive. I wouldn't recommend it at this point. All right, but what you would do is you build a landing page, and then you typically can make a low ticket offer there. A low ticket offer is less than a couple $100. The max is probably maybe $300. All right. And so that's where you'd make a low ticket offer. But before you can make that low ticket offer, often what you have to do is put your leads into an email campaign. All right. And then what you do is give them a welcome email sequence. If you sign up for my free mentoring, you'll get that. Okay. They can opt out at any time. And then you can also add them to your newsletter so that they get notifications of the newsletter when it comes out. Okay, so there's many ways you can do a newsletter these days. You can do it on these platforms like System and others, or you can do it like on a dedicated site like Stack. What's it called? I forget what it's called now. There's dedicated newsletter platforms out there. All right, so once you get them an email campaign, then you can make those low ticket offers. All right. And then what you're looking for is testimonials of people that are satisfied after they've received your low ticket offers. Right. And then once you build up that testimonial, then you get what's called social proof. And then you can go for the higher ticket offers. Now, a lot of times higher ticket offers are in the thousands of dollars, and they require a phone call typically. Okay, to where you're going to have to, first of all, you're going to have to filter and screen those leads. Otherwise, it's a waste of both of your times, right? You need to try to figure out if the person can actually pay that amount of money. But then ultimately, you're going to need to book a call with them, and you're going to need to make that high ticket offer over that virtual meeting. That's typically how it's done. All right. Now. All right. So now again, the goal of the funnel is to know, like, and trust someone. All right. And once you can work on that, know, liking, and trusting. And everyone is basically going to go through this process where they essentially work through 5 stages of awareness. So originally people are unaware of you. Okay. And they're strangers. And then if they hang around you long enough and they keep seeing you in their feed or whatever, then they become problem aware. Okay, so they go from unaware to problem aware. And then the next step over is solution aware. Okay, so now they know they have a problem, and then they become aware that you have a solution to that. All right, and then the next stage over is product aware. So you want to productize that solution. So it's one thing to know that there is a solution out there, but then they need to know that you have the solution. It's a product. That product can be a service or, an app or something, a traditional product. And then there's something called most aware, and it's those most aware that they're ready to buy. Okay. So these are the 5 stages of awareness that all buyers go through. Okay. So very rare that a stranger is going to show up your website and whip out a credit card, right? But what you can do is you can, over a process of time, build that know, like, and trust so that ultimately you can convert them from being a stranger into you becoming their trusted advisor. All right. And so that's the way that works. Now, okay, hold on a second. All right. Okay. Now, so what are we going to do? So again, when it comes to the funnel, most people, again, your goal is to get them down the funnel, right? So they become problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and then most aware. And then, at some point at the bottom of the funnel, people are ready to buy. All right. So that's the process. Now, back over to where we were. All right. So when it comes to organic, it's all of that stuff. Okay. That I just talked about, all of those different traffic sources. Now, let's talk about what we're going to do. So we have the affiliate going, right? Actually, I wanted to do that one. Okay, so we have the affiliate up and running. You could sign up on the website, and I hope you do. It doesn't cost you anything. And then you can help promote. And then what we're going to do is start working on the organic. All right. Now, several sources for the organic. One of the things that we'll do, and we've already started to do it, is our blog. Okay, so we'll keep going with that. Now we have that SEO and SEO and also LLM SEO optimized. All right. And the point of that is that nowadays it's the AI models that are mostly crawling these websites, not Google anymore. In fact, it's anticipated in the next couple of years that Google will be dwarfed by the AI LLMs that are crawling out there, and that's probably where you're going to get your traffic. All right, ultimately, is through the AI LLMs. All right, so we have our blog, and it's optimized. So again, I'll put on there it's SEO and LLM SEO optimized. All right. Now the other thing that we'll do is we will promote it on, or we want to promote it on these different sources that we talked about. So like on Reddit, on Quora, and places like that. All right. But ultimately what we need to figure out is where is our ideal customer hanging out at? All right. And once we figure that out, then we'll know how to dial in, exactly where we are doing that. And give me 1 second, guys. Bear with me. I got to check something. Okay. All right, guys. Apologize. Just had to take care of something real quick. I'm back. All right. So, again, we've got Reddit, Quora, and different places like that. Another thing that we'll do is we'll get on AppSumo and Product Hunt. All right. And the reason why we want to be out there is because we have a new app and we want to make them aware so that they can help promote it as well. All right. So that's on AppSumo and Product Hunt. And there's others like them. Okay. And there may be other sources that we come up with along the way as well. All right. But these are a good start. All right. And that should generate enough buzz and enough, awareness about our product that we can start to get some sales. All right. And then the other place, of course, is on X. Okay. And places like it. And then, let's see. We got X, we got Instagram, we've got the ones we mentioned, Facebook, and etc. Okay, and so we can promote out there as well. Now, I've already been promoting, by this streaming every night, and also having that on my social medias, right? So we're already promoting. I already have people follow me along and commenting on that as well. All right, so this is what we're going to do. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to use Vibe Marketing to do this, right? So we're already generating blog posts with our AI tools. We've already demonstrated that, right? And then what we'll do is we'll also use AI to generate the post that we end up publishing in these different places as well. And then we will also use AI to find out where our clients hang out. All right. And then ultimately, we can even use AI to help reply and help us craft replies and make sure that they're appropriate and such. But we always want to have that human in the loop. We want to make sure that we're putting out good stuff. All right. So now, one of the first things that we'll do is we'll crack up AI and just do some research on where these developers are hanging out. All right, so that we can find out like the Facebook groups, the different channels that they hang out, the different Reddit streams that they're on and things like that. Right. So let's start to do a little bit of that. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm building an app for developers to help them get user feedback from their users and also submit bug reports. Can you help me identify where my potential clients are hanging out? These would be developers that have apps, either vibe coded or traditionally coded apps. Help me figure out where those users are hanging out. Okay. We see Reddit's here. We see Reddit threads. This would be different places that we can check out. Okay, indie hackers. Okay, what to check that out, that community out. Okay, here's more Reddit channels, ton of places. Here's some crossover communities. Dev Twitter remains the central watering hole. Yep, I would attest to that. Excellent. All right, here's a good one right here. Look for devs complaining about feedback collection. So what I did was just took that and said, help me do this. Look for devs complaining about feedback collection in these communities. Okay, search terms like user feedback. Now, another trick to do this is on Grok. Because Grok obviously is tied in X, but Grok is also tied into the other stuff too, like you know, the Quora, the other places online as well. So what I'm gonna do is give it the same post. Okay, so this is called vibe marketing, right? So we're going to use AI to help us market. Okay, Y Combinator is another good popular place that developers hang out at. Yep, here's a good one. Look at this, the biggest find, a hacker news thread from June of 2025. So what was that, 7 months ago, 8 months ago? 335 points and 208 comments, titled, most users won't report bugs. Okay. Okay, so we're looking for things like that. And there's a lot more. There'll be hundreds of these places. Okay. Yep, price sensitivity, people complaining about the competitors. Okay. Okay. Where to engage. Okay. Again, Reddit, Twitter. There's a build in public channel in there. Hacker news thread. Engage thoughtfully. Don't pitch. Yep. That's key, by the way. You have to engage. You have to provide value, not necessarily just go out there and blast the link everywhere. That's called a spammer, and they get booted from those spaces. Okay. Friction problem, forms, logins, email verification. No wonder users ghost you. Okay. Follow-up problem. Users report bugs but never hear back. They stop reporting. You stop learning. Yep. Most feedback tools make reporting feel like shouting into a void. Okay. So this is what we're trying to avoid. No pun intended. Okay. Good stuff on there. Let's see what Grok came up with. Okay, so what they broke it down the same way, both node code and also traditional coding. Stack Overflow, yeah, that's old school. Okay, a lot of good places, and there will be lots of places to interact. Different Reddit subthreads. Okay. Okay, I told it to show more places, even Facebook and other communities. Okay, Discord servers. Okay, so we've got a long list of places that we can interact with. Okay. I'm going to encourage you to do the same. If you're going to help promote this as an affiliate, which I've given you access to the affiliate links, again, doesn't cost you anything, and sharing 30% on that. So you can do a little research like we've been doing here via marketing and determine where you think these users hang out yourself. And you could start going out there providing value and then dropping that link when it's appropriate. It's also good for DMing people as well. So you provide value. Once they get to know you through a couple interactions, then you can drop them a DM and say, hey, check out this site. So again, we're looking for people who are interested in using our site, right? So it does us no good to just go out and blast the link everywhere. And that'd be the worst thing that could happen, right? So we want to make sure that we do it respectfully and tactfully and actually provide value, which is what all business boils down to, is an exchange of value. All right, so that's really super important. All right, so what questions do you guys have? Drop them in the comments. And what we're going to do going forward is I'm going to start getting out there and promoting our site, and encourage you guys to as well. And then what we're going to do is probably just keep on developing, keep polishing, right? Keep streaming, keep working on new features so we're stacking value. But at the same time, we need to start getting out there and being known, right? So I'll probably do that during the day, and then keep this up, in the evenings. Have to think about that and see how I'm going to split my time. All right, what's new out there with the in the vibe coding space? What's new with the tools? Anything new with Claude Code or any other tools out there you guys are seeing that are worth me taking a look at? Anybody seen any new revelations lately? 3Ds, I know you've always seen something. I'll tell you something that I've been playing with lately is Agent Browser. It's a new Vercel tool that helps you test. It's better than Puppeteer or Playwright in that, and the reason why it's better is because it's made by Vercel, and Vercel understands like the Next.js platform that we write on better than anyone, right? And so because of that, they've made this agent browser that can actually go in and hook at the object level. Oh, you saw that. 3Ds, I see that you commented. Yeah. What they do is they hook the data at object level so that still like Playwright and Puppeteer are using a lot of screenshots, and that's very inefficient. So if you think about it, like they move the mouse and they take a screenshot, and they move the mouse again, they take a screenshot. That's insane. Now, some of them can do better than that, but when it comes to these AI tools, even the Chrome browser, which I've played with, it's all driven off these screenshots. Not the Chrome, I meant to say Claude browser. If you take a look at that Claude browser and try to log into a site, it's like watching, molasses pour. It takes it like 5 minutes to do what would have taken you 10 seconds. Like to log into a site and go check something. It takes like 5 minutes. So that'll improve over time for sure. Yeah, somebody was mentioning here, have you checked out GLM 4.7 at all? No, I haven't. What's the value of that, Jay? Like, what's it do? Is it a model or what? Sounds like it. GLM 4.7. I haven't heard of it. But anyway, the novel thing here that's new about the Vercel agent browser is like they can see the website like at this middle layer, and they can call an object reference that might, like if you have a table in the middle of your page, they can call the object for that table. Okay. And they're not using like HTML tags. They're using like this other notation, like they put like a at F5 or something. So what they do is I think they take like a snapshot of your page, which basically like then puts it into these objects that they can reference. And it makes it super fast and efficient. But I must say it's still pretty slow. It's super fast or efficient compared to these other alternatives. It's like maybe half or a third as long as they are, but that's still too much for me. So I was trying to do a thing earlier where I was having it, log into a website and test it. And oh my God, it took like 10, 15 minutes to work through a test sequence. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I could have just went and looked at that in 30 seconds and been done. So to me, it's still not quite ready for prime time, but I can see where they're heading and I'm excited about it. I think, certainly by the end of this year, we should see more of that. And, okay, hey, here he goes. He says, Jay says that GLM is like it's close to Opus. No, I haven't heard of that. Wonder how it does on the benchmarks. That's a big claim. Opus, GLM, benchmarks. Certainly cheaper. It wouldn't be hard to be cheaper than Opus. That's for darn sure. I can guarantee you that. Claude 4.5 generally outperforms GLM in overall reasoning and coding benchmarks, while GLM offers highly competitive performance. Anything new on the open code front? I tell you, I would like to really take a look at them, but it's that subscription model challenge that I just can't get over. And if you guys find any workarounds to that or anything, let me know. I doubt that they'd be long lived, because if there is workarounds, that's counter to Anthropic's license, so they probably will close it. And that's why I'm afraid that like AutoCloud is on thin ice as well. And it makes me pause on even going hard into that, because I'm like, you guys are like you're in that gray zone. Like they use They use the SDK, the agent SDK from Anthropic, but I think by the terms of the Anthropic agreement, they may be in violation. So it might just be a matter of time before they get called out and snipped as well. So yeah, it's crazy. It's a shame, really. And I told you guys before, I think what'll happen is Google is just going to drop the bomb and they're just going to start racing to zero and put these other companies at risk because they can. You know, Google can just give away this AI for the next 5 years. They wouldn't have to charge a thing for it. They could just tap into their billions, hundreds of billions of dollars they have in the bank if they wanted to. I mean, just cost them probably about $1 billion or something. They could probably fund all the world's tokens for like a year. But the point is, like, Google is threatened by these guys, and I wouldn't put it past them to take advantage of some of these shenanigans like that Anthropic's playing and just go, okay, fine, you want to do that? Come play with our anti-gravity tool. It's entirely free, and we're subsidizing all the tokens, even the Opus tokens. The problem I have with that is that, and they are doing that to a large degree right now, you can get a fair amount of Opus and Sonnet on the anti-gravity for free. The problem with that is that framework doesn't allow you to like manage the skills, right? So I was sharing this the other day. I'll show something else with you guys. So check this out. When it comes to AI, you have to think about it like this. So you have the models, we have the scaffolding, then we have the IDE and the harness. Okay, I put these parallel because they're kind of doing the same thing. So we have models like Opus and GLM and all these hundreds of others, right? You fill in the blank. Gemini Pro, you just fill in the blank. So we have all these models out there. And then, but those models are just LLMs. Like, they can't do like all of this stuff that we do. I mean, yeah, sure, you can go to a chat interface like ChatGPT and try to ask it to write code, but like, good luck with that, right? So what we do is developers have put scaffolding around those models, and that's where you get your Claude Code, OpenCode, Droid, APIs, like, you know, and these would be API calls to the models themselves. All right, so this would be like scaffolding, right? And so then on top of that, we have these IDE orchestrators. So you have your Cursor, you have your anti-gravity, your VS Code. Now, you know, most of us run Claude Code within like one of these, right? So if I wanted to, I could flip this diagram around, but you get the point. Like, these are different layers. Okay, so each one of these tools do different things. Like, Cursor is very different than Claude Code, right? It provides a whole IDE and orchestrator layer that Claude Code doesn't specifically do. It's more low level. So that's why I put it over here. Same thing with these other ones. They're more low level. These are more high level. And what's happening is we're getting abstracted away from the model, right? And then you also have something that a lot of people call harnesses. Okay, so that's a phrase that you'll hear about, and that's where your AutoClaude, your AutoMaker, and your Ralph Wiggum lives. Okay, these are harnesses. Okay, these harnesses run a scaffolding framework to the model. So whether they're going through the API or whether they're wrapping around like Claude Code, so like the Ralph Wiggum plugin within Claude Code, for example, gets you to like Opus or Sonnet, right, or whatever. So these are different routes through this diagram, okay? And of course, you're aware of the Secure Vibe Coding OS that I created, right? It kind of lives out here in its own world because it basically allows you to access, you know, both scaffolding, but also you can use it from within like an IDE, you know, for example. So we install it, right? But it's probably more aligned over here to the scaffolding because I have all the skills, the agents, and all that stuff, and that's basically coming directly like this. That's probably where it belongs. Okay, it's kind of outside of all these other things, you know, and it's new. So check out again that Secure Vibe Coding OS if you haven't yet. That's what we built our entire SaaS on. And it's up there. You can download it for free and check it out. Go for it. and extend it. Push me back a pull request. I'd love that. If you fork it and you improve it, push that back to me. I'd appreciate it. What else is going on out there, guys? We'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. But I just want to catch up. Is there anything else going on out there in the AI coding front besides the agent browser? I tell you, Anthropic's still dropping new stuff like it seems every day or every couple days. You can't keep up with all that stuff. Some of it's under the hood. You really don't need to know about it, but like some of it's pretty impressive. Again, like this thing that we just talked about, the agent. Well, that's not Anthropic. That's Vercel. But of course, they have in the last week they dropped that co-work thing, and that's taken a lot of people aback. Because it's kind of automating like Claude Code is, but it does it for your desktop and other things, and that's kind of sketchy. Because and I'm a little nervous about the prompt injection front. I think some people are going to get stung by that. And so whenever I do that kind of stuff, I try to do it really carefully and make sure that I limit the permissions of that thing. Like for example, I told you guys, if you're really concerned about that, check out this tool called Claudito. It's a GitHub project that runs Claude Code in a Docker container. So in that way, it can't delete anything or anything like that. Not that I've ever seen it delete anything, but you never know. Like if you're out there crawling the internet and you tell it to go search something, like go do research, that's risky because it's pulling somebody else's code down. What if that code has a 0-day in it for the LLM that you're not aware of? It takes over your system and starts like sending all your files off somewhere, like at midnight when you're sleeping. Like you'd never know. Right. And so that's one of the problems with these LLMs is they're very trusting by nature. And we have to be aware of the prompt injection threat. It's real. So you saw us put some stuff in our app to kind of help prevent that, but it's not foolproof. I'll be the first to admit like nothing is out there right now. In fact, Anthropic and them are admitting that like they have blogs on it, that's a really real threat that they don't know what to do with entirely. Sam Altman has made similar comments. We have to be aware that like that threat can really do some damage, right? So we need to be aware of that. All right, guys, what else? All right, guys, we'll go ahead and wind it down. So it's been a great session here. We'll pick it back up tomorrow night. Same time, and I'll figure out between now and then the direction we're going to go. I'm going to start dropping some marketing out, and I think what we'll do is we'll start working on some new features, and we'll start working our way around at the same time that I'm marketing. Again, hope you guys are marketing as well. Now, I should have mentioned this. There are two things that you can do. You can do a soft launch and a hard launch. And I'm going to do basically a soft launch route. So we'll go out just through word of mouth, also promoting it like in different places, right? And then we'll start to pick up customers naturally. And then what we'll do is over time, then once we pick up some customers, get some testimonials, then I'll probably do a hard launch, like in the summer or something, where I'll promote it more, particularly once we, get some more kinks worked out of it. But right now it's solid enough to get some users in. Okay. Particularly on the AppSumo front and the Product Hunt front, like they understand that like, hey, this thing's new. Like, do you want to be a beta tester is kind of the ask there, right? And beta testers know what they're in for. And that's what we need at this point. We need beta testers more so than we need paying customers. So, just keep that in mind. Okay, guys. Well, hey, definitely appreciate it. Love each and every one of you. Thank you for showing up and spending this time with me. And we'll go ahead and pick it up next time. Until then, see ya. Ciao.